The fastest way to buy Bitcoin in Australia from an exchange you can trust. Bitcoin.com.au.
Blockchain technology, it's clear we are seeing something quite revolutionary that's going to change the world.
I don't need recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great.
It's a huge push into connecting the physical world with the blockchain.
It's always a good idea for investors to make the trend the trend.
You're doing good. I'm doing great.
Hello and welcome to Coincast TV. I'm Kmar Johnson. Tonight we're coming to you from Bali, where blockchain was on the agenda at the IMF and World Bank annual meetup. The China spy chip saga, what the hardware hack means for crypto, and remember the Power Rangers. We'll tell you what the man who once owned them is doing now. But first, here's Heidi Cuthbert with the Week in Blockchain.
Thanks, Kmar. Well, I'm here in Bali and it's been a festival of blockchain this week. It started with the X-Blockchain Summit, which looked at real-life cases for the blockchain technology. Also, that summit was held in the lead-up to the annual meetup of the IMF and the World Bank. And of course, blockchain technology is going to be on the list of things they'll be discussing this week. We'll have more on that in just a moment. Meantime, IBM made headlines this week with its food tracking blockchain. It went on to sign an agreement with a European supermarket, and now people can subscribe to the service for a monthly fee. In other news, the world's largest trading platform by volume has announced plans to make donations to charity. Binance has said it's going to donate all listing fees to charity. However, companies that want to list on the exchange can decide whether to donate their listing fees to charity as well. And to the United Arab Emirates, which this week announced changes to crypto regulations. The country is going to allow token sales to raise capital instead of the traditional way of raising money through initial public offerings. And that's all for this week. Back to you.
Bali was a blockchain hotspot this week. Packing their bags for the popular holiday destination were world leaders in the technology who were there for X-Blockchain Summit. The gathering was touted as a lead-up event to the World Bank IMF annual meetup, where the impact of disruptive technologies was a key topic.
Lazy tropical days in Bali, where it's beach weather all day, every day. Not that the head honchos of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund were there for work perks in their bikinis. They were there to discuss global financial stability, so there was a lot of talk about this.
Disruptive technology and also the stabilizing benefit of improving or increasing globalization of trade. So blockchain and Bitcoin both provide technology solutions to settlements internationally. So the capabilities of that technology really are going to be key to achieving that increased global trade.
I'm guessing they will be discussing quite a bit about cryptocurrency and blockchain. And I think there's like maybe two camps, if I may. Like one wants to sort of like embrace, one sort of like has a little bit more resistance.
The World Bank has been experimenting with blockchain, and Bitcoin Australia's CEO, Ben Ingram, says other major financial institutions need to pay attention.
It's apparent with everything that's happening in the world that blockchain and Bitcoin technology is having a really significantly disruptive effect on the financial services industry. So I think they'd be about as wise to ignore that technology as they would to ignore their teeth.
IMF and World Bank is a big part of their agenda is about financial inclusion. So we think that cryptocurrency is actually an impetus for financial inclusion.
Pundi-X CEO Zach Chia thinks crypto is too good an opportunity for countries like Indonesia to refuse.
In Indonesia, everyone is a millionaire. So I'm a millionaire now holding this stack of cash. I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to look into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
The World Bank has chosen Australia's Commonwealth Bank to deliver the world's first blockchain bond. It'll be issued and distributed on a blockchain platform operated by the World Bank and CBA in Washington and Sydney.
It's really promising that we're seeing an Australian financial institution lead the way in adoption and developing this new technology.
But there's that age-old problem large organizations tend to have, where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
So at the same time as they're promoting these technological innovations, they're still making it very difficult for people in the Bitcoin and blockchain space to bank with them.
In other words,
time will tell where that goes.
A recent report claiming Apple and Amazon had their hardware corrupted by secret Chinese spy chips has caused a storm despite repeated denials the story is true. Either way, it has put the spotlight firmly on how to combat cyber attacks, and we ask, is blockchain technology the answer?
True story or Chinese whispers?
Apple and Amazon have come out refuting it.
Bloomberg had tongues wagging over a report claiming Apple and Amazon's hardware had been compromised by a secret Chinese spying chip during manufacture. The tech giants and the manufacturer deny the report.
I think the spy chip story from Bloomberg is great because it's making people aware that maybe we shouldn't just trust the machines that we're working with.
Graham Speake, CEO of online security firm Bank Vault, says even if the story is true, there are much bigger threats.
It's far more likely that you can have a BIOS hack, hack in the firmware.
He says these days it's likely you are not even aware you've even been hacked.
I could hack your computer with you clicking on my download this invoice or perhaps a Facebook ad.
With costly consequences.
I can now socially engineer you to trick you to give me your banking fob and things like this.
So, is blockchain technology the answer?
Blockchain technology cannot stop hackers. The blockchain itself is not going to be directly hacked. It's not the blockchain, it's where you store your private keys.
He says there is a way around hackers when it comes to bank transactions and crypto trading.
We've taken these and put them inside what we call our invisible bank vaults.
His company has created technology called remote isolation. It works like this. A user can go online to complete a transaction. A cloud, which acts as the invisible bank vault, is temporarily created for the transaction using a smartphone as an invisible keyboard to eliminate any trace from keyloggers or browser spyware. When the transaction is finished, the cloud disappears.
So whatever you're doing, you're secure, you're anonymous, untraceable from the hackers that are on your device.
Despite that, he says the cost of cybercrime is only going to go up exponentially.
2016, it was $500 billion worldwide. It's estimated next year to be $2 trillion.
According to Graham, that's because not enough is being invested in technology to combat hacking.
It's not keeping pace. The hackers are winning.
And when the hackers win, we lose.
Now let's take a look at the top cryptocurrencies of the week, brought to you by Caleb and Brown.
Bitcoin has taken another tumble after 3 weeks of steady pricing without major announcements occurring. It could be looking to retest the $6,100 support price again. Bitfinex's short trade volume continues to be 23% greater than long volumes. With 60-day price volatility down to just 4%, we haven't seen Bitcoin this steady for 2 years, since October 2016. As a comparison, Bitcoin's market cap has grown 10 times and its trading volume 80 times since then. On the spotlight this week is Tron. The smart contract platform claims to be 200 times cheaper than Ethereum and 100 times cheaper than EOS. The version 3.1 update goes live this week, enabling application developers and users to start testing the smart contracts. It's also an exciting week for Basic Attention Token. The BAT token is a payment method used by publishers, advertisers, and users on the new web browser Brave, which has gathered an impressive 4.6 million monthly active users in a very short amount of time. And that's it for Caleb and Brown's top cryptocurrencies of the week. Kemma.
Up next, we'll have more from Bali, and Data Dan brings us the week in charts.
You're doing good, I'm doing great.
Welcome back. Bali isn't all bin tags and bathers, it's also big on Bitcoin. Or, well, it used to be before big crypto crackdowns were enforced in January. But does the public miss the crypto haven?
Welcome to Bali.
Once upon a time, Bali had a massive love affair with Bitcoin, with thriving crypto communities right across the holiday island. But that all came to a screeching halt when Bank Indonesia declared Bitcoin an illegal form of payment in the country. The central bank said with no official crypto administrator to regulate things, there was too much risk of dodgy activity. But is Bali actually mourning the loss of its crypto haven reputation?
Have you heard of Bitcoin?
Probably not many people know about Bitcoin in Bali at the moment, but now it's just starting. People like a businessman or something like that, they're using Bitcoin.
Bitcoin?
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you know what Bitcoin is?
I don't know.
Cryptocurrency?
You know? No. No.
Do you know what Bitcoin is?
I don't know.
You don't know? Cryptocurrency.
Oh.
You don't know?
I don't know, sir. Sorry.
Have you heard of Bitcoin?
No, only cash money.
Seems it doesn't take long for some things to be forgotten in Bali, because cash is definitely king here.
Let's see what's happening in the charts with Data Dan.
The International Monetary Fund, or IMF as it is known, met in Bali this week to deal with its Mamma Mia moment in the form of Italian government debt. That country's banks have weighed on that economy for the best part of the last decade. And if we look at Italian 10-year debt, we see interest rate yields are rising on bonds. What does this mean? It means that investors are placing a risk premium on holding Italian government debt. In other words, they're fearful if they get their money back. Simply put, if we were to look at neighbouring countries, this is where contagion comes in. So the likes of Spain and Greece, which have also been a headache for the European Union, have also seen their bond yields also spike. Now, how does this compare to the likes of Bitcoin? Well, if we were to compare the yields on Italian government debt, and let's say compare that to Bitcoin over the last year, we see that Bitcoin has become somewhat of a very boring asset class, a marked difference compared to the 2017 version. But if we look at Italian government debt and the yields on that, we see big spikes. In fact, volatility reigns in the world of fixed income, particularly in a low interest rate environments. So the IMF is dealing with its own headache around the global economy. Who'd have thunk it?
If you grew up watching Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, this next story may just blow your mind a little bit. It's about a man who used to own the two cult franchises, his stash of gold, and how it brought him to crypto.
Now, I ain't saying Wilfred Coe is a gold digger, but he does have gold mining assets across the Eastern European region. Now, some of that gleaming nuggety goodness is about to be issued for sale to launch Coe's newest venture, a gold-backed crypto token called K-Gold.
We have a gold stockpile in Kyrgyzstan, and with this token you can buy 1 gram of gold.
So how big is that stockpile exactly?
So we set aside 3 million gram of gold. That is equivalent to 3 tons of gold.
K-Gold is shooting for $30 million US. And who better to make it rain than the man who once owned Michelangelo and Donatello?
I used to own the Power Rangers and also the Ninja Turtles in the 90s to the year 2000.
So how did a gold-digging Power Ranger owning media man get into crypto?
Gold is a very solid currency that is used everywhere, but cryptocurrency is something that everybody's talking about it. I think it's the future.
It's not such a stretch to go from gold mining to Ninja Turtles to digital coins. At the end of the day, it seems every man and his Doge is getting into crypto. Former UFC champ Mike Bisping has weighed in. Funny man Ashton Kutcher is a big tech investor. Even Gwyneth has got crypto advisor on her resume. And remember Red Foo? He's now working as a coder on an Ethereum project. Cowabunga, dude.
Now let's take a look at the projects to watch, brought to you by CTIA.
It's all about virtual worlds this week as gaming-related projects move to the next level. iCandy Interactive is set to launch the pre-sale for its first crypto game at the end of the month. The company has an existing mobile gaming portfolio of more than 350 million gamers worldwide. iCandy acquired Animoca Brands' game portfolio and an investment agreement with esports.com. And you're never too old for costumes, proven by cosplay being a $100 billion industry. Cure World Cosplay is aiming to open up the dress-up box to the global market. The company is getting kitted up for its final token release. Coming out of virtual and back to reality, it's business time. XN Chain has launched the mainnet for its public blockchain network, which is helping businesses to connect and share information more securely. And need help preparing your business for the decentralized world? Block Factory has you covered. The company provides blockchain adoption services and solutions. And those are the week's projects to watch. Came up.
Coming up, a game changer in the world of gaming and the week ahead with Katie McDonald. That's after the break.
You're doing good, I'm doing great.
Welcome back. Making your first crypto purchase can be a little daunting. This crypto brokerage firm is helping its clients gain access by holding open the door to the digital asset market.
I'm joined by Dr. Prash P, the CEO of Caleb & Brown. Now, Dr. Prash, the first wave of investors in cryptocurrency has been the tech-savvy millennials, but what do you think the second wave is going to be?
I think we're probably in the second wave now. There's a commonly talked about S-curve of adoption, starting with innovators, probably those tech-savvy millennials you talked about. Then come the early adopters, which we are probably in the midst of seeing at the moment. And running a brokerage, I guess we get the insight into investor demographics, and it's quite heartening to see there isn't a typical one. You know, our oldest investor is 75. We're seeing a greater increase in the number of female investors, which is something the industry quite lacks. And I think that diversity is quite promising for the market as a whole. It's probably the third wave, almost counterintuitively, which will involve the financial services industry. Until we've already seen large institutional players globally getting into the market, but financial advisors and wealth managers are somewhat constrained by the fact that regulation has not as yet allowed crypto to become a regulated financial instrument that allows them to invest their clients' funds into. Once that happens, with better custodial solutions and with greater adoption and usage, I think that's what will really kickstart that third wave.
So certainly there's been a lot of volatility in crypto markets. How can you avoid this volatility or manage it?
The short answer is with difficulty. Look, crypto markets are going to be inevitably volatile the way they stand at the moment, a reflection of the small market capital and just how early on we are in the cycle of adoption. The total market capital of Bitcoin is only about $200 billion. Just for comparison, the market capital of gold is about $7 trillion. So any geopolitical, economic, local or international event that causes market fluctuations which would barely cause a ripple in the depth of fiat currency markets will likely demonstrate a shift in crypto markets. It's a bit like throwing a pebble into the ocean versus into your bathtub. To minimize that volatility though, investors can invest in the currencies with a larger market capital that have been around for longer, have a more stable architecture and infrastructure, rather than the newer speculative coins that promise ludicrous 100x returns, which traditionally have been contributing to a large part of the volatility that we see. That general mode of thinking in terms of having a diversified crypto portfolio, coupled with this method of arranging your portfolio, is probably one of the key lessons we educate our clients on.
So what is the future of blockchain? Is it going to be bigger than the internet?
The internet was arguably the greatest revolution in the way society operates and relates to each other and functions ever. Comparisons have been made suggesting that blockchain technology could eclipse that in all its various different iterations. I think the greatest promise though lies in the confluence of these almost mind-bendingly revolutionary technologies that we lie on the cusp of. Blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence, VR technology, renewable energy, quantum computing, all of which coming together at this point in time would lead to a sum that is far greater than its parts. We're heading into a time of the greatest ideological and functional change the world has ever seen, led by technology. But more than the volume of change, the rate of change has never been higher than it is now. And crucially, the acceleration of change, the rate of change, is what truly gives me goosebumps. And I think I'm very glad to be alive and part of this.
Dr. Prash P, CEO of Caleb & Brown, thank you very much for joining us. Back to you.
Let's go to the week ahead with Katie McDonald.
Dubai residents will soon be able to pay for retail purchases and everyday bills with crypto. The UAE's first official credit bureau, M-Credit, is pushing for wider adoption of its M-Cash currency by rolling out point-of-sale devices at government storefronts across the city. And the crypto football takeover continues, with an English championship team reportedly about to change hands with a little help from crypto crowdfunding platform Sporty Co. The platform is preparing a £45 million bid to purchase Hull City Football Club. And next week in conferences, Auckland, New Zealand will host the Blockchain Technology Conference on Tuesday, and Belarus capital Minsk will hit play on its crypto and blockchain gaming conference. Kmart.
The game has changed in the world of gaming, with a software developer teaming up with blockchain for a new role-playing game. Called 9 Lives Arena, players can now own the items they acquire while playing, and characters and weapons can be used across different games, creating a multiverse.
Get ready.
This is what we are going to do.
To enter the arena. For a real game changer.
All our in-game items are running on blockchain technology.
Say what?
All our in-game items are running on blockchain technology.
That's right, 9 Lives Arena is a new role-playing game which allows users to move their in-game characters and assets from game to game using blockchain technology.
Years after maybe the game's even closed, the servers are closed, you still own these items. Well, that's what blockchain is bringing to you.
The game's creators, Touch Hour, have joined forces with blockchain developer Engine to become one of the newest games to use the technology.
You think that's cool? Well, it gets even better.
Touch Hour has launched a Kickstart campaign where early backers are rewarded with limited edition multiverse weapons and characters.
All the money raised will go towards development, which will enable us to create more content and more features.
Which means the more money, the better the game.
And remember, this is just the beginning. There will be more games that connect to this multiverse.
Already, Engine is being tipped to be the blockchain engine room for many more games to come. Weeks after the reveal of 9 Lives Arena, 7 other developers reportedly signed on to use Engine, including games such as Age of Rust, Cats in Mechs, and Forest Night.
How many victories do you think you can achieve with 9 lives?
In the 9 Lives Arena, players get to go one-on-one with other players for a fight to the death. Lose 9 lives and it's game over for your character.
When you finally die, your character becomes a large, oversized statue in your personal training ground.
And it's now game on for blockchain.
Thanks for joining us. For more about tonight's stories, go to coincasttv.com. You can also find us on Apple TV and catch some of our stories on the Wall Street Journal online. Coincast TV is on Sky News Extra every Friday at 7:30 p.m. See you next week and keep hodling.